Hey everyone, it's Ivan with kitbadger.com, out here for a first look at a couple unrelated things from Keith Titanium and Dependabilt. Before we dive into this stuff, quick shout out to friends over at Demos Collective. Probably one of the things I like to have in my vehicle the most and that I hate to use. They make shovels for digging yourself out. So I just spent between an hour and a half digging myself out of the snow. Today being, I want to say March 9th. Just kidding, May 9th. Losing track of time. But yeah, May 9th, got stuck in snow. It was not that much fun. But if you remember my review, Keith Titanium, they make all kinds of cool stuff. Not too long ago I reviewed this. It is their canteen mess kit. Titanium, really cool. Turns out they actually make a lot of really neat stuff. So I got some other cool stuff to check out. Right here, double wall titanium mug with folding handle and lid. The Keith Titanium sport bottle, awesome. And make some room. Multifunctional titanium cooker. I'm actually pretty curious about this. They actually won some awards for it. Should be pretty cool. And then this right here, which, who is that? This is a cutlery kit. Titanium. And yeah, I will say, yeah, so knife, fork, spoon, which is pretty cool because honestly the best thing about a spork is kind of nothing unless you don't have anything else, because it's like a Swiss Army knife. It is literally the worst tool for the job unless you don't have the right tool for the job, in which case a spork is actually really handy, or a little Swiss Army knife. But if you do have the right tool for the job, then like, yeah, why do that? So you can actually separate all these out and take which ones you need. But yeah, I'll get going with some of this stuff here. Right here is the silverware kit, and you can unscrew this piece, free these guys up. And then this little locker, and you can separate them all out if you so choose. I will choose. And then also it actually comes with this, which is pretty cool. So you can stow all these things in here, face up, face down, whatever. Pretty neat. And then right here, I think is the mug. Nice double-walled little carrying case here, and then this lid as well. This is double-walled, which I like because I don't want to burn myself when I'm trying to drink stuff. They also make a number of sizes. I forget which size that is. And I guess we'll open this real quick. Single wall sport bottle, 700 milliliters, and it is single wall, so you can, if you need to, actually boil water in here, just as redundancy. But the thing I actually like about it, the reason I was looking at it, is this will fit nicely in pretty much any water bottle holder on the side of packs. So this thing apparently made or won a bunch of awards. Right down here it shows you, I'm guessing cooking instructions for certain things. You can actually make rice in this thing, which is pretty wild. And it almost works as kind of like a double boiler, even though there are holes in this. Or you can of course just use this pot right here, but this will nest inside to cook stuff. That will go on there. These latches come up, and I can get them to work. Boom, lock like that. That is pretty crazy. And yeah, now, wow, that is pretty wild. I'm gonna have to mess with this more. But right now, I actually just want some coffee. So I'm gonna take this inner part out and get some coffee going. Some mornings you pretty much have to earn your cup of coffee. I would say today was one of those mornings. Definitely not how I wanted to spend that hour and a half. Never mind Peanut drinking out of that puddle over there. Either way, we're here now. Get some water going and yeah, get some coffee going. All right, got a good boil going. And now for patience. All right, the time has come. I will say a spoon will probably not mix it as well as a fork. If I want, I could obviously use a fork because we have the technology. It does taste better when you earn it. If you're unfamiliar with Dependabilt, they are, I guess, an accessory division of Sawtooth Rifles. My buddy, Matt Yore of Sawtooth Rifles, he actually built Rifle 301, custom bolt gun for my oldest son, Jada. And he makes all kinds of parts for rifles, largely machine stuff, and some pretty cool stuff. So something I actually really appreciate about Matt too is he does the thing. By way of example, I guess a week ago, I was down visiting and he's like, hey, you want to go shoot this? Or he told me I am going to shoot this match. And I was like, hey, can I come with you? He's like, yeah, sure. So we went out, shot an NRL hunter match. Like, yeah, the guy actually shoots, hunts, not as competitive as he used to be as far as in PRS, stuff like that. But yeah, gets out and still competes and shoots and does all the things. With that, I was down there shooting this in that competition. This is my Mini Fix by Q. It has a 6 arc carbon fiber barrel from Proof. Got it through Tag Firearms. And being able to attach this to a tripod, pretty important. So Arca attachment, Matt through Dependabilt actually makes these. And there are absolutely times though when bipod is the answer. And sometimes you maybe want the bipod not right there. So Matt makes all the things. Pretty cool. So right here we actually have a full length Arca rail, and then right here we also have an adapter that he also makes and sells. So I'm gonna get those set up on this gun after I have another sip of coffee. Ta-da! All right, so what do we have going? We have a full-length Arca rail on here. to include whatever those holes are. I think it's some sort of thing where it can lock in for like Really Right Stuff or something. And actually this clamp right here from Really Right Stuff. And one of the things Dependabilt makes also is this piece right here, which is an adapter plate. So it basically goes in between this clamp and kickstand bipod from Q. So with this, I can now put this on pick rail. So I can take this, put it on any gun very easily, rather than, again, this is just Q-Sert. They also make one of these adapters for the MLOK version, because I think Q makes a MLOK version also. Now I can run it on anything with Arca plate or anything with piece pick rail. So this thing can go on here, and it can also move pretty much anywhere along here. That doesn't sound good. Metal on metal, but it can do that. It can slide. And so if I want, I can go ahead and set this thing up here, clamp it down. And depending on my shooting position, I can either very easily take this thing off. Oh yeah, also, so I have this sling on here with this Blue Force loop, which is handy, but it probably touches the barrel somewhere in there. Not handy. And so this piece here, you can actually use to link this through your sling. So now your sling's attached there if you want to do that as well. Just options. And so I can now loosen this, slide it back to wherever I want it, or for that matter, I can loosen it and take it all the way off. And then of course, if I'm shooting with a tripod, I can put my tripod anywhere on there and it will support the gun. Pretty neat stuff. But I have some more things. Generally speaking, light is right. Why carry heavy stuff? To include guns, especially if you're going to carry it any distance. So by way of example, that gun, that Mini Fix, before I just kind of reconfigured it some with that small Arca, bipod, silencer, optic, sling, all that stuff except for the magazine, I guess. In that last match I shot, I was shooting it like that. Whole thing, 9 pounds flat. Pretty amazing. But depending on the discipline you are in shooting, you might want a heavy gun. Twofold. One, heavy guns can mask your deficiencies. Light guns will absolutely amplify them. And while I don't think people in PRS are necessarily trying to mask their deficiencies, if you have a really heavy gun, it is easier to stay on target through recoil, all of those things, which is why you have people shoot NRL 22 with like a 25-pound chassis 22. Got to tame that recoil. But to that end, Sawtooth actually makes some pretty cool stuff. They actually make weights if you need to get your gun heavier with a built-in track system, which is kind of interesting. So throw this stuff on. This right here is my Solus bolt action rifle from Aero Precision. Built this thing, pretty amazing. You can check out that video. And I would not call it lightweight. I want to say it weighs slick, like a little over 11 pounds, probably almost 12, but we're about to make this thing heavier. So let's throw some weights on it. Yes, SLED Track System. So while there's obviously weights on here, there's basically a track that runs inside here. And so this piece right here, pretty sweet. Nice. So this is both a Barricade stop as well as a hand stop. And nice adjustment right there. I'm pretty sure you just slide it in here, and I guess I'll want it on the other side. I'm shooting right-handed. So we'll slide this thing down here, get it kind of really wherever we want it, and then we can just tighten that up. And now, if I want to shoot this offhand, which I don't, but there's actually a pretty awesome hand stop as well as a barricade stop if I need to mash that up against something. And why not make this heavier? So that SLED Track System, these pieces here, they're almost like a big version of MLOK. Other weights you can slide down in here, and then, not really feeling like I want to, but I can if I want, basically add literally more weight, which this gun's getting pretty heavy right now. This right here, muzzle being that way, here's a long section of the weight, shorter section of the weight, another short section, and this has those pieces, kind of modified MLOK, so you can slide it down kind of wherever. We'll say right here, and crank this down, and now you're set. You have extra weights. You can obviously put as many as you want here. And then over on this side, we can, too tight. Oh, it's on there forever. Dang. All right, I'm never gonna move it. Oh well. But hand stop here, barricade stop here, and yeah, I'll leave it on there forever. Not only did I drag guns out here, also brought a target stand. And my sweet chronograph, Garmin one, that my friends over at Brownell sent out. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this opportunity to, see how that feels shooting with all that weight on there, and actually gather some data. I have some federal gold medal match, 6 Creedmoor, that I wanna get some data on this gun. So we'll go ahead and do that right now. All right, I shot a terrible group from a very uncomfortable shooting position, so I'm gonna try and suck less now. All right, I shot a terrible group from a really uncomfortable shooting position. Time to try and do better now.
One, two, 3.
Probably not my best work, but I got my data. Looks like average speed of this gold medal match is 2960, standard deviation 16.4, extreme spread 50.9. All right, time to shoot the other gun. All right, got some velocities with that other gun. We'll see if that picks it up, catches it here. Decided I just don't want to sit down right now. Or, sorry, I don't want to lay down right now in the dirt. So we'll go ahead and shoot this thing from tripod. Actually make sure I'm zeroed this time. Probably a good way to start. Average speed 2627, standard deviation 18.9, extreme spread 49.2 out of those 5 shots. This was definitely me shooting like garbage today. So forgot to dial my turret. Definitely 3 mils on there. I saw the impact above it. and then came down, super unstable position. Well, that's those 4. Proned out, got those 5. Still not my best work. Probably still within 1 inch, even though I sucked. And then with the Mini Fix and that 6 Arc, shot that sitting off a tripod. Again, not that great, but that's what happened. Well, I'm gonna go make about 5 trips to my car to get all this stuff out of here, because I eventually stopped because I was like, I don't want to get stuck again and have to shovel myself out. So that's pretty much it for today. But one, this gun's way heavier. This is pretty sweet. Still keeping it pretty light, but the ability to, one, use this bipod on other guns if I want, remove it or move it should I need to. Pretty neat. We'll see how this Handstop Barricade stop works. See if I can ever loosen it. I can't. There's actually a place for a bit, like a hex bit right there. So we'll be able to get that off and move it if I decide I don't want it there. This is definitely heavy. This is incredibly light. And yeah, as I put in time with all this stuff, I'll of course bring you guys a full review, but yeah, been a fun day out here. And as always, thanks for joining us at kitbadger.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.